ladies, Susan here. This is the video you've been waiting for. I'm going to show you how I cut my wigs. This little cutie I just got in the mail is Chantel. And I bought her in two colors because I love both frosted taupe, which this one is, and my other one is Silverstone. Those are the colors that seem to look the best on me. So I'll show you a couple of things about her. She's got really cute sides that are razored in, okay? How cute is that? Look at the back. How darling. I love it, okay? So, of course, you know I'm gonna stick it behind my ears because that's what I always do. I have a smaller face, and so for me, it's not so overwhelming when I put hair behind my ears. Now, if you have a broader face, then that would be a good thing because it's going to slim down the size of the face. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to show you Chantel. So here we go. I'm taking off the frosted taupe, okay? And I have on my Milano wig grip, and I love these because there's just a plastic band on the back and then just this that covers. And I find if there's any itching in a wig, that takes care of it for me personally. Also, it has a rougher side. You want to have your printed side down, and you'll see they've got pink print or something like that. And that side goes against your scalp. The side goes up, okay? So let's put on Silverstone. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is shake your wig. Just, you know, probably not very nice, but I always liken it to shaking a dead rat, you know. It's been sitting on a shelf for months, who knows where. You need to brush it out real good. I have the plastic comb and I have the metal comb. Now on the very front of the wig, I like to brush through the top with the metal comb. I don't go all the way down with it because I think you're going to get more hair breakage if you do that. So I just use the plastic, okay? So it's good to buy both of them. I find they come in handy. Now, for purposes of shortening the video, I already cut the bangs, but I'll show you what I do. So let's put her on, okay? And I adjusted the bands. Now, I will probably still cut the adjustment bands because apparently I'm right on the edge of having a large head. Even though my face is smaller, apparently I'm a fat head, I don't know. So anyway, this is what it looks like, okay? And like I said, I already cut the bangs. The first thing that I would do is, let me grab my bobby pins here. Take a couple of bobby pins. Now you're going to move it to the top. You've already centered it because you don't want this to move when you're cutting it. So I just slide a bobby pin on either side of the ear tab. And of course you always fold your ear tabs under. You don't want them sticking out like the flying nun or anything. So we'll just slide these in, okay? And now my wig is on. It's not going anywhere. It's gripped on tight, okay? So what I did with the bangs, the first thing that I always do, your bangs are gonna be long on this. It's gonna be long probably on everybody, and you're gonna have to trim them if you want to. Or you could brush them to the side. I always like bangs, so that's what I'm gonna do. So before I do that, I'll show you the back, because I know you all love to see the back, all right? Isn't she beautiful? Oh, this color is so fabulous. Okay, so the first thing I do is I section off. Where do I want my bangs? And I'll take that little point on the comb on the end of the brush, and I'll go right across where I think I want them to hit on me, okay? And then you can just buy these little clips anywhere on Amazon or I don't know, you might even find them at Dollar Tree. And I go in and I clip this hair back because I don't want it bugging me. And I don't want it falling down and getting caught up in the scissors, okay? and even out to the side, I'll pull back. Okay, so now we have a clear view of what we're going to cut. So I'm going to take the scissors, okay, and these are a sharp pair of scissors I have. Here's the first thing. Do not, don't go across your bangs, okay? You're going to look like you did in grade school. I was thinking about that this morning. Do you remember, well, this is probably telling my age, but my mom used to wet my bangs, and then they would scotch tape it to my forehead, and then she would try to cut them so even, and then she'd rip that tape off, which really hurt. And of course, by then your bangs were, you know, this much shorter. And you had to walk around looking like a geek for a couple of weeks till they started to grow out. So what Rochelle shows you on her videos and her tutorials is cut up at an angle. And actually you can cut right into it. You just nip right into it. And start slow because they're not growing back, okay? So start slow and then just nip, nip, nip. And I turn mine different which ways. And I like it to look like I almost need a haircut, okay? I think it looks a little sexier that way than up here, but you know, you do what you want. Don't take them and start cutting them from the middle of your forehead down, or it's not gonna look good. It's not gonna look natural. So that's what you do. You just trim, trim, trim. And when you get to these longer sides, you taper down, okay? Each side you're gonna come down just a little and you're gonna taper, and that looks more natural, all right? So I'm gonna take this out. And I like a part. You may not like a part, but I like a part. So I'm gonna find my part, okay? And you could go either way. I checked it this morning. I could go this side, but you can see it really doesn't want to go this way quite as naturally as it wants to fall this way. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep it where it wants to go, okay? And so how I start is when I tell you that I just cut a few pieces of hair on the crown. This is your crown, right around the top here. That's the crown of your head, okay? So I'll just pick up a piece. I don't want it too thick. You're not gonna pick up a big hunk, but I'll pick up a piece and I go, you'll see where the end is, okay? And I'll go about 3/4 of the way. And then I'm doing this with my scissors. I'm sliding it back and forth. I call it razoring, okay? And then I find another little piece somewhere. I just move around, okay? And you'll forgive me because it's much easier in my bathroom in my 10-power magnification mirror than it would be through my camera lens. I'll take another little piece. Okay, I'm gonna come over here. And the reason that I do this is I like a fuller look. And the other reason that I do it, or we're just razoring here, is because I don't know anybody that has perfectly straight, even hair. We always have new hair growth coming in, little baby hairs. This one's not as long as this one. The first thing that screams wig to me is if someone has hair and it's all exactly the same length. Boom. That says, oh, she's got a wig on. And so we're trying to look just, a little more real. So that's what we're doing now. I'll pick up a piece over here, going towards the side, razoring. And they don't all have to be the same length. I can go in a little shorter. If I say, well, it's not quite full enough on top, I might cut a piece. Okay, then at a certain point, stop what you're doing and brush through what you've just cut and kind of play with it a little, okay? So you can already see I'm getting a lift, okay? And what I also would do, and I forgot to mention this in the very beginning, is I always buy their hot air brush, always. First thing I do before I cut the bangs, I roll it around with the heat, and then I pull. And then I roll it around, and then I pull. And you don't hold it on there. You don't want to singe them. You just want to get a lift. Okay, so back to where we were. You don't have to cut everything in the first day. You may wear it a few times and then you go, you know what? I don't know, this right here is bugging me. I think I'm just going to shorten this just a little, okay? So I'm going to pump it up there a little. And the reason that I do this also is I don't like a flat wig. Now, you may love flat wigs, and that's good for you. It's not good for me. I look better with fuller hair on the crown. Okay. So now I'm going to rake my fingers through it, and I'm going to say, do I like this? I think it's looking fuller, and I think it's looking better. Okay. I'm just going to take a little piece right here. Just back and forth motion, back and forth with a scissor, up and down, up and down, up and down. One thing I will tell you, at a certain point, stop. You don't have to go crazy with it to get some lift. You just want a few of them. And I will show you after I spritz it, but you just want enough to kind of fill in and make it a little fuller on top. And I like that. So I'm going to stop today where I'm at because I can't see what I'm doing really without glasses. And then I may cut a little more down the road. Okay, but I want to show you, the other thing that I always do is I spritz it with water. See, little water bottle, Dollar Tree, wherever. Just spritz it up. Run your fingers through it. That starts creating the piecey look that you all say, well, my hair doesn't look like your hair. Well, it will if you do this. And you're training your wig. When you first get a wig, you know, it hasn't had any tender loving care. So we're gonna have to keep training it. You may have to spritz your wig 2 or 3 times a day. I do, because I want it full and I want it piecey. Okay, so now I'll just show you, spritz a little more and we'll see what the back looks like. I'm gonna take my fingertips and push it back a little. Okay, so here we go. I don't know if that shows on camera or not, but I'm hoping that it does. Now, I'm gonna stick it behind my ear, all right? I might pull just a little out like I always do, but okay, I'm going to stick a little back here, okay? There, all right? So now it's starting to look more together, all right? You can pat it down if you don't like full hair. Look, I can go really, really flat with this. You know, you'll never catch me with flat hair, but you may like it. So you do what, you do you, all right? And I will do me. So, I hope that helped you. And I want to ask you something, ladies. Who would you like to be today? I choose to be Chantel. So, let's just see how this looks. All right. Ooh. Je m'appelle Suzette. Et vous? Merci. Have a great day.